Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial of 5GSA paging process. So in this process, like from the access side, we have UE and GNodeB as the core node, like common nodes. And from the core side, we are going to use AMF, SMF and UPF. So these are used mainly in that 5GSA procedure. Okay, like when some user device or UE is not transmitting or receiving data, okay, it is moving into some sleeping state, and that is called CM idle. And it is like to save the battery and like free up radio resources. Now here the physical tunnel like entry interface between the radio tower and the tort net kind of core network is broken down as well. So like what happens when like someone like sends some WhatsApp message or some background app receives some notification, okay, so in that case the network has to wake up the devices up, and like this flow shows exactly how the downlink packet triggers a wake up call across the core and the radio network. Okay, so in the phase like we are getting some data notification. Okay, like we are having some inbound IP packet around kind of it is arriving at the UPF. So now UPF looks at its routing table and realize like I don't have active entry tunnel to forward this to the GNode because that particular user in CM idle state. So instead of dropping that particular packet, UPF buffers it in memory, and at the same time, like UPF must alert the control plane as well. So it will send that N4 session report request message, and inside that there will be downlink data report. Okay, and then N4 session ID will be there, and it is like forwarding to that SMF. Now the SMF knows which data session need to be wake up. Okay, but it also like doesn't track the user's physical location, and for that it relies on AMF. So the SMF uses an AMF communication and to message transfer like API to tap the AMF like and kind of providing users permanent identity like SOAP and kind of session ID, and at that time like the AMF acknowledges this by indicating like it will now attempt to reach to the UE. Okay, now in the next phase is kind of paging kind of execution. Okay, now here AMF knows like user is kind of sleeping, but it doesn't know like exactly which cell tower the user is standing under. Okay, so it knows only the general areas. Okay, so the AMF pulls up the user's context, and then it extracts its tie, that is taking area identity list, and this is like the cluster of tracking areas of network like previously assigned to that particular user, and it also like grabs the 5G STMC, the temporary ID, and secure routing ID that is used to identify the user over the air interface. And like here like AMF is not going to like broadcast this to the entire country. Okay, it sends that NGAP paging message only to the specific GNODBs, or you can say the cell tower that belongs to that particular tracking area in that TIA list. So it includes that temporary ID, the TIA list, and some like timing information like paging DRS. We call as kind of discontinuous reception. Okay. Now the GNodeB is going to receive that NGP message, but like they just like can't send it out to the UE immediately. Okay. Now here like to save the battery, the UE is only wakes up at its wakes up like its receiver at some like intervals, that is like the paging occasions, okay, or you can say POs. Now the GNodeB calculates like exactly when the specific UE will be listening, and it will wait for that particular exact microsecond, and then broadcast the RRC paging message over the paging control channel using that 5G STMC. Now next, move to the next slide. Okay, so now next one, like now then the UE wakes up and at RRC connection. Okay, now here like the UE that had that pace. Okay, and now it will going to initiate contact with the nearest cell tower, and here like the UE sends RRC setup request, and here like it will put establishment codes as empty access, and like this is used to tell G0B like I am connecting because the network called be, not because the user opened some app. And inside the RRC setup complete message, you encapsulate in a service request, and like this is UE formally kind of telling the AMF I am awake, and here is my kind of temporary ID, and this is the list of video session I need to be activated. And like here G0B encapsulate all of this into NGAP initial UE message and forwards it to the AMF. Now the next stage is the N3 tunnel establishment, and you can see the context setup. Okay, like here now SM, or you can say AMF now has UE on the line, but the physical data channel like N3 interface between the cell tower and the core network is currently broken. So AMF here like must act as a broker to stitch it back to together. Okay, so the AMF send an SMS PD session update SM context request to the SMS. So it basically says that the user is awake at this particular location, and so you need to prepare that user plane. So now the SMS respond with N2 SM information, and this contains the UPF N3 TID or tunnel endpoint identifier, and this is kind of UPF IP address and like kind of a door for the data tunnel, and like AMF takes this UPF TID along with some security keys like G0B, and like sends NGAP initial context setup request down to the G0B. Here like G0B like locks down the radio connection with the UE like over the data radio bearers, and like here will be the security mode command complete and RRC reconfiguration and configuration complete message will be there, and then it will be like replying to the AMF, and inside its response it will be providing its own like G0B N3 tunnel ID. Now in the next phase, like then user plane activation will be happening, and like here the G0B like know where the UPF is, but the UPF doesn't know like where the G0B is. So the AMF passes this G0B N3 tunnel ID to the SMF, and here SMF N4 session modification request. Okay, and to the UPF, and it will be sending that particular G0B address, and now it will be sending the response, and now here like the circuit is complete, and like here the UPF knows a particular route. Okay, and it now it is going to flush its buffer like the transmitting the pending IP packets over the GT protocol over across the N3 tunnel to the G0B, and here like G0B receives the packet and transmit there over the dedicated error bearer to the UE, and after that like the user's phone is kindly buzzing with the notification. So that's all from this particular flow. Thanks for like joining this session. I will like see you in the next session. Thanks.